So, do you want to follow the World Cup in Power BI? I'm guessing you do. So, I'll tell you more in just a second. So hello, this is Ruth Pozuelo from Curbal.com, and in a series of videos we are actually going to create a Power BI report that will allow you to follow the World Cup in Power BI. So we will create a report for the web, but we will create a report for the mobile too. So you will be able to see the stats on your mobile on the World Cup at any time, which is super cool. Now, how we're going to do this? We will do it in parts. So the first part, which is today's video, we're actually going to start downloading the data from the web, and we will collect some data about when the matches will happen and some data about the teams, okay? And we will prepare it so when the actual World Cup begins, we will be able to refresh the data, okay? So without any more delay, how about we jump into Power BI and I'll show you how that gets done. I'll be back at the end. Okay, so let's do this. Let's see how we get the information for our Power BI report on the World Cup. What I'm now at is at the FIFA World Cup. So here is where you will find the information about the teams and when they are playing and all that kind of stuff. And again, the purpose of this is that we will have a Power BI file that we can actually follow the World Cup on. So this is going to be really nice. So the first thing we want to know is the matches. When will they start? And what we need to do is to basically get this information. I actually tried the, using the new web scraper, but it did a good job picking up Russia and Saudi Arabia. The rest of the stuff, it just wouldn't pick it up for me. So when that happens, you can actually go and give it a go. It just didn't work for me. And I guess it's because there are nesting tables within tables. That's what I'm guessing. That is just having difficulties to pick it up. So what you can do is you can download the HTML code and scrape it from there. You will have to look into, the actual HTML code, because this is a static information and it's not going to change except for this knockout phase, but we have all the data that we need in here. We're actually going to just, I downloaded it and then I copied it into Excel because this won't change. And the thing that would change, we can actually figure out from the winning of the group. So we are actually going to be able to manage this anyhow. So again, just downloaded everything on an Excel file, just copy paste, and you will get this file here where you have the dates, the groups, where they're playing and which teams are playing. This is time that is getting a weird format in Excel when you're copying it, but the time is already here, so we don't care about that. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to import that Excel file. And we're going to clean it with Power Query, basically. So we get sheet 2, edit. And here we have the Excel file with the information. What we need to do is to clean this up. So let's do that. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove everything that contains June. We don't want it. And we're also going to remove the nulls, the empties, and all these decimals that is actually the time, and leave everything else in there. And the reason why we're doing this, if you look at here, you see that they have grouped these in dates. So to be able to scrape it easier, it's better to remove this because that information is already in there. Okay, so we don't need that. And now we are left with a very, very clear structure of the groups. So this is what we're going to do. And this is a trick I learned from Daniel on the Power Query Challenge, okay? So if you want to have more detail about how this is done, I will go step by step anyhow, but if you just want to have more detail, you can check that video. What we're going to do is we're going to add a conditional column that says the column contains a group. Spell it correctly, otherwise you will run into trouble. Group, then return column 1, otherwise empty. So now we have a column that shows the second row of every group that we want to make. But before that, we're actually going to create an index. I forgot that. Let's go to transform. What is the index? Oh, it has to be at column, of course. Insert, and we wanted to start on 1. So now we have the index, now we have the conditional column, and now we have a custom column that looks like that. What this is basically saying, I don't want to write everything, it will take me forever, but it's just basically saying I'll show you. You see, just if this is group A and the other one is null, just give it an index. So it's picking up the first row of each group. And one group contains the date, the group, the stadium, the city, and then the 2 countries playing, or the 2 teams playing. And now we have everything very, very neat. So we can start grouping things. And to do that, we will go to fill down. So this is one group, this is one group, this is one group. You see, it's beautiful. And we are going to group these. Group by, new column name, grouped, for example, I don't know. And then we put all rows. So what this is doing is grouping all the 1s, all the 7s, all the 13s, and giving me a new table. You can see it there. And what we are going to do now is we're going to extract just column 1. The other ones we don't want. So we're going to add a custom column. And we're going to write table, select columns. I should also copy that actually, so we don't spend time. And then this is the, where are my brackets? There, column 1, brackets. So it's basically saying from these tables extract column 1. It's not called column 1. It is called column 1. What's the issue? I probably misspelled something. Grouped. Syntax. It is. Now, we're back on track. Okay, so column 1. Here is our column 1, and now what we're going to do is we're actually going to transpose that. Okay, so we go to custom column, and we call it table transpose, and now we're going to transpose the new table that we just created that contains the groups. So we go from a table with 4 columns to a table of 1 column to a transpose table on each row. That's exactly what we want. Now we are going to remove everything else. We don't want it anymore. And we're just going to expand. And here we have the information that we want. How cool is that? Now we need to do a little bit more work in here. So let's do a split column by delimiter, custom like that. So it gives us the date. And now here we want to, I think if I'm not Oh, this is so annoying. This is like space, space. So we don't have to clean the space again. And now from there we go split column by number of characters we could do, because it's always 5 for date, for the time. And now we know that this is local time. Do not do this by your own. I don't want you to do it. Same here. I just want to try to clean the code so it is then easier to maintain. So now we are going to start doing the I think this I will leave as text, the same as for these others actually. Home, those are all text. Am I leaving anyone? Yeah, this one is also text. So now we have all of them. This was local time. Well, it doesn't matter. And now we give them some names, okay? So this is date. This is time. This is time zone. Not really, but we call it like that for now. Here you should really say that this is the Sweden time zone, because that is how I downloaded from Sweden group. This is the stadium. This is the city. This is team, I don't know, A. And this is team B. So now we have the date, the time. I mean, we know when these teams are going to play and which dates and which time. So this is fantastic. This is the matches. Matches. So another thing that I wanted to do was to actually grab the flags. It just makes reports so much nicer. So when I did this the first time, I actually went on the Wikipedia and let me show you. We do everything. So I want to grab these flags. If you right click and click on inspect on Chrome, it will actually give you the property for that flag. And you will see here that there is a URL, HTTPS something, something, something. And then it has at the end 3-digit code for the country. And that matches for most, but you know, this is not countries, this is teams. So you have, well, it is countries, of course, but you have like weird names, okay? So you won't be able to just grab the 3-coded country and pick it up and get the flags just to create the URL. But one of the things I wanted to download was these groups. And this one, good news, you can actually scrape it directly from Power BI, which is an excellent news because it contains the statistics for how each group or how each team is doing on each group, which is fantastic. We definitely want to have that. And another good surprise was, we don't see it here, but it's going to actually give us, you see, the 3-letter code of each country. So we don't need to grab it anywhere else. We can just grab it directly from the site. And then here, oh, look at that, look at that. Here are again the matches for each group. Okay, but we can do that ourselves, it's no problem. Okay, back to... So as you can see, it's scrapingly beautiful, so we don't need to do anything. We just grab the data and now it's importing everything, blah, blah, blah. And here we have group A, B, C, D. So we're going to get group A. We're going to give it a new name, groups. And we're going to append all of the tables to that. So I want to append all those to group A, so I can clean them all at the same time. And these ones I want them to refresh because this is going to give us details about each group when the World Cup starts. We can just refresh this and it will work. So that is really good, but I don't want them to load in Power BI. I just want it to refresh and then to append to the first table. So we're going to disable load on all of them, except for this one. While we are here, we remove that one. And now we have, you see the 3-letter code? How cool is that? So I don't know, this is probably wins, defeats, losses, yeah, you know, all kinds of stuff. So this is great. It's going to give us data directly from the site. Check this out. Now we want to split this into columns, right? So the only thing you need to do, Power Query is getting smarter and smarter each time. If you go to split column and by delimiter, it's already recognized itself that this is a line feed. And it's telling you, okay, this is like what I think you should do. This is so cool. I mean, it's really fantastic. If you click OK, it's going to do it correctly. It's going to split this into 2 columns. So in case you didn't know that this was a line feed, Power Query will tell you. It's fantastic. Okay, so now here we have we need to clean this up a little bit. Transform to for stream. That means we will remove these spaces in the beginning and in the end. So we just have the 3 codes. And then we are going to do lowercase because we are going to use this 3-letter code with to get the flags. If we go back here, you can right click, inspect. And this will give you again the URL that you need to get the flag. So if you just copy element, go back to Power Query, and we go to add column, custom column. We do like that. Now we need to remove some of the HTML code. You just want the actual URL, and then this ESP, we're actually going to change it to number 2 because this is the one that contains the 3-digit to create the flags. And this is where I can just rename it directly. Flags. There we go. Now, this we don't need anymore. Remove. And this is the teams. Home, load. Load in, okay. Now we need to do one more thing to get those flags. We need to go to flag, modeling, and then we have to have image URL. Okay, so these, you tell Power BI, this is an image, go get it. We go to teams, we go to flags, and here we have all the flags. We are going to do fantastic things with this. Okay, so now we have the teams. We have the matches. We're going to get some statistics as soon as the World Cup starts, like how many wins, how many loses, how many... Okay, so the file is starting to get in shape, right? So we will continue building this Power BI file. I don't have it ready myself, so you will, follow my journey along as I'm building it. And the file is available for download down below in case you want to continue building it yourself too. But we will continue again on Wednesday building this thing. And before the actual World Cup starts, we will actually have a Power BI file that we can just refresh and follow. So I'll see you again on Wednesday with more World Cup fever. Bye.